Hi, I'm Olaf, and I like warm hugs.
Predicted.
Right. And
So Frozen 2 has also been predicted as the $6 billion film.
It's mad.
Mad.
Same directors, Chris Buck and Jennifer Lee.
Viewer Lee.
He's like the comedian in the film, if you like. Yep.
Yes, I am.
Hi guys, and welcome back to our channel. Welcome back to a film review.
We haven't done one of these in quite a while.
A long time, actually.
Yeah, we do still go to the cinema fairly often, but we've just been enjoying making other content.
You've probably guessed what the film is.
Frozen 2!
So we went to see, it was the opening day, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it's like the first day opening in our country.
Yeah.
I think it opened earlier in America, obviously.
Yeah.
I was extremely excited for this, and I've actually been waiting for it since the first one came out. I was one of those who absolutely loved the first film, really wanted a sequel, was really happy when they said they were going to do one. So yeah, we went to the first showing that we could make yesterday after I finished work, and I definitely don't regret that decision.
Definitely not. It was rammed. But yeah, so this video is just going to be a review about the whole film. We're trying to do it with no spoilers, but without meaning to. There's probably going to be a couple small ones.
Yeah, there might be a few little spoilers, but we're definitely not going to say much about the overall plot of the film, or the ending or anything like that. It is going to be more generic stuff about the music and the animation things, and we've kind of split it up into different sections for you. So if there is a bit that you didn't want to know about, for example new characters, then you can skip that section. Yeah.
And so we hope you enjoy. So just an overview of this film. It's set 3 years after the original, and it follows the same team. What do you call it? A team? Just the team. Tap down.
Time.
It follows the same group of people.
Yeah.
And in this one, they go on a journey to find the origin of Elsa's powers, which obviously takes them out of Arendelle. And whilst they are away, I guess the mission they're with is also to save Arendelle as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it becomes quite a complex story, but obviously simple enough for kids to understand. But I just think it's amazing the way they did it. The mysterious voice that sort of leads them around. It's a nice concept. I like it.
Yeah, definitely.
So Frozen 2 has also been predicted as the $6 billion film made by Disney this year.
Crazy.
That's mad.
Yeah,
we've got a few.
Unbelievable amount.
We've got a few more figures at later on in the video because we do a little section on reception.
Yeah.
But that is just.
It's mad.
Mad.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of an overview. Give you sort of a rough idea without spoiling anything. What the story is about.
To be honest, even the trailer doesn't really give much away.
Yeah.
You can see that they've got to go on some sort of quest, but you don't see where they go or why they go there. It is all quite brief.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So in this second film, it did have quite a few links to the first film. Obviously, one thing you won't notice unless you've read on it, is it's got the same actors, which you can probably tell by the voices.
Yeah.
Same composers and same directors, Chris Buck and Jennifer Lee.
Yeah, so that doesn't always tend to stay the same in films. It's not something that you'll necessarily notice unless the film is obviously a completely different style. But I think it does help with the flow of sequels if it is the same people.
Yeah, they've definitely done well to get everyone back the same.
Yeah.
Considering it's 6 years after.
Yeah, definitely. And something which I really liked that linked to the first film. So the music at the introduction of the second one was very, very similar to the first one. So I think the song is called Viewer. I have no idea if that's how you say it. It's probably a Norwegian word, so that's probably completely wrong.
But the
vocal sort of tune from that one in the first film is used again in the second film, just with different music and in slightly different format. But I really like that because it did like sort of bring you back into that same world that you were in the first Frozen so long ago.
Yeah. Another one is they link back to Hans. Is that, is it Hans?
Yeah.
Hans in like the first film. Obviously he was like the evil guy in the first one, and there's like I don't know if it's a couple jokes in there.
Yeah, there's definitely
like,
a few jokes that crop up.
Yeah, that's
he's
sort of
not in this one.
Yeah, so they just have a few jokes about him like along the way.
Yeah.
Which is quite like a nice touch, I guess.
Yeah, just ties it back to that film without copying the film and bringing too much back.
It's just like a nice link.
Yeah, it just makes you feel like, I guess, you know the characters more because they're making like a little joke between them and you're like, oh yeah, I get that, like, it's nice.
Yeah.
And kind of like, so the overall theme of the first film, if you had to put it in like a few words, would be love conquering fear. And I saw this online, I can't remember what article it was on, and they said that the new one, its theme is more love versus fear. So that's quite a nice idea, and when you do look at both of the films, you can see those concepts and how that follows through in both films.
Yeah, which I think is like mainly with like Elsa and Anna.
Yeah, definitely.
It's kind of that like sisterly love.
Yeah, and they've always liked to play on sort of the family love rather than a relationship love. Even though there is Anna and Kristoff's relationship through it, it's definitely not the focus. And that is something that I know that they were very hot on, is not having that as the main thing.
Definitely, yeah.
But yeah, definitely works well.
So yeah, it's definitely like the way that they've linked the first and the second really well. Instead of it being like the first film, second film, you almost feel like it's a part one, part two.
Yeah, because it definitely...
Because of how linked it is.
Yeah, it's weird because even though it's set 3 years later, you don't feel like you've missed anything in those 3 years. Yeah. Like, it's exactly how you would have predicted it to have been 3 years later. Yeah. It was so clever.
Definitely, yeah. And so moving on to the music of the film, they did have, I believe it's the same composer, which is Christoph Beck.
Yeah.
It is Christoph, not Christopher, isn't it?
Yeah, he is actually
sure
Christoph, but it's not spelt like the character Christoph.
No. Yeah, that threw me a bit when I saw that. But yeah, he's got him as the composer in this one again, which is obviously...
That's a massively important thing for me. With Disney films, and music is such a big part of it, as most of their films are technically like musicals, I guess. So that is really strong part to have the same person because you have that same sort of
I think like even if you have like two people as well, like both could be like world class, but they're going to be different.
There's still going to be clashes.
Like
in
no
how
one's going to make the same. Otherwise, they wouldn't both have that job, would they?
Definitely. So the soundtrack to Frozen 2 is absolutely incredible. Obviously, it had a lot to live up to because the soundtrack to the first film was received so well. Everybody loved the songs. They really did become like a massive part of, I guess, like the whole world, like because it ended up going into the charts and things like that. It wasn't just a soundtrack as such. So yeah, it did have a lot to live up to, and personally, I think they have smashed it.
Like, I'd say that the music in this second one is better than the first.
See, I'm really struggling with this, saying the second one is better than the first with music, etc., any part of it. I could not choose. It's not because I think the first one's better or the second one's bad or anything like that. I love them both so much. I actually don't think I could choose.
Doesn't surprise me. They're both like amazing.
Yeah.
It's just I think the second one with like the music, obviously, is. I just feel like I don't know. I don't even know what it is about them. I think it might just be because it's fresh music.
Yeah.
Like we've had 6 years of the first Frozen music.
And I play it a lot.
Yeah, I just played it like so much. So I think like hearing like I don't know, it's like the same kind of music, but
same
like
voices,
different.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like it's just refreshing. So it might just be because of that.
Definitely.
But yeah, no, so they've done a great job with that. And so in part of the film, on Kristoff's song, it's called "Lost in the Woods," and the way they've like sort of not filmed it, but like made it.
Yeah.
Is
the
like
scene.
they've done it like a sort of 80s like ballad.
It is so funny.
Yeah.
I literally was just like, it's like he is his own boy band.
Yeah.
Because the only vocals in it is him, and then like they have it set up so like Sven and the other reindeer in the film are like his backing vocalists.
Yeah.
But obviously he voices Sven, so it's just funny. It's brilliant the
Yeah.
way that it's done. It's so clever.
Yeah, I think pretty much everyone in the cinema for that scene was like laughing at some point.
It was great. It felt really cheesy,
Yeah.
but like in a really
Yeah.
good way.
Definitely, yeah. And like it wasn't like expected either. Like there's nothing that
No,
sort of made you think, oh, like this is gonna happen.
but it wasn't so random that it didn't fit in. It
Yeah.
was just great.
Like you knew the song was starting, and all of a sudden it was like a boy band video.
Yeah, because like just the way that it would fade into his where he was on the screen and the shots
sort of
and
like
the,
spotlights.
oh,
and
it
everything
was
like that.
so
Yeah.
brilliant, absolute class.
So, yeah, it's definitely something to it's definitely something to look forward to if you're going to see it.
100%. Oh, and another quick link to the first film with the music side of it is he has like Christoph again has, I think it's called a reprise, when they like have part of one song and then they kind of make it into a new version of that song.
Yeah.
So he starts off Reindeers Are Better Than People, but he kind of like rewrites it, and that's a really nice tie back to the first film.
Yeah, definitely.
But also it feels so new. It doesn't feel like you're back in the first film.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just great.
It starts like exactly the same.
Yeah.
And so like you heard like the few people like in the cinema that would start singing along to it, and then obviously the words are then different. He was one of them.
Maybe.
So that was quite funny, and it was, yeah, just like a nice touch.
Yeah.
Another like good link to like the first film.
And I think the other major point with the music is obviously Let It Go from the first film was an absolute hit. It was massive. It was played everywhere, and that was like what you would, if you think Frozen, you think Let It Go. And I think with Frozen 2, the song that they have kind of tried to have live up to that expectation is Into the Unknown, which is another Elsa song, and it is incredible.
Yeah.
Idina Menzel's voice is amazing. Like,
It's mad.
if anyone else sang at the pitches that she did, I feel like I'd be like, oh my god, shut up.
Yeah.
But she is,
Like, even if you don't like those kind of films, like you can appreciate a good voice.
she is talented.
Yeah.
And also, like, obviously at the end of the film, they'll have like during the credits the big song from the film, but sung by someone popular. Like they had, was it Demi Lovato who did?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So this time they had Panic at the Disco do
Yeah.
the song, and that was just a weird thing for me
Yeah.
because I would never have predicted them to do it. Like I can't.
And we hadn't already looked either. Like
No.
we hadn't listened to any of the soundtracks,
And
so
I
we don't know, or we didn't know who was like singing them.
Yeah.
So
I
it was
just
quite a
can't
surprise.
vision Brendan Urie sat there singing a Frozen song. Like
It was weird, but it worked. Very well.
It works so well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that is going to be the big song from the film.
Yeah. And obviously, music is a massive part of the film, and I'd say they've nailed it.
The mysterious voice that Elsa hears throughout the film singing to her, quite a cool fact that I found out about that is that's actually a Norwegian singer. So obviously Frozen is set in Norway. All of the Frozen stuff at the theme parks in Florida at Epcot is in the Norway pavilion. They like to keep obviously very much to the native side of it. So I thought that was really cool. So the artist is called Aurora, which again, she couldn't have a better name, could she, really? I don't know whether they
Yeah.
planned that, but
If not, it's
that was great. So yeah, another cool fact, the voice of that song is Norwegian.
smashed it out to the park. Some
Well
might
done,
say.
Disney.
Oh, tick on the old music front. Now moving on to the animation / like CGI side of things. Obviously, 6 years difference between the first one. We were kind of looking to see if like it changed much.
It's definitely come a long way.
Yeah, like when it first came out, it was like really good anyway. But from there to like the new one is mad.
The details.
Yeah, every little detail, like it's just. I don't know how they do it. It must take so long.
Maybe that's why it took 6 years.
It could be. They probably were working on it, like from the end of the first. To be fair,
probably.
I have to try and find that out. To be honest. But yeah, like the colours are so much brighter. Obviously, the first one was set in mainly just snow, so there's not gonna be much colour with that, is there?
No.
Whereas this, like the majority of the film is like set in a forest.
Yeah.
So obviously you have all like the like autumnal colours, all the leaves and everything.
I really like the leaf thing. Like, there's a lot of merchandise and stuff that's come out that is the sort of purple that Anna has, and with the autumnal colours and the leaves, and it is gorgeous.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like really nice, and I think like I don't know if like you noticed it so much, but like as well as like all their clothes and like especially like Olaf, whichever way it is. He just seemed so much more like crisp.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I do know what you mean. That sounds funny because he's snow. Crispy snow.
Yeah. He looked crispy clean.
Crispy clean.
But yeah, no, it just looked amazing.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, so not only the leaves, like the fire, the weird trail of fire.
Yeah. Well. Brilliant.
So another thing that we noticed, obviously we mentioned the detail, things like the hats that people were wearing and people's hair, the detail in it is incredible. Like, you can see every single strand of hair, and the way that it moves, like there was a part where like Anna was crouched down and her fringe was like obviously like hanging out a bit, and it was just so realistic in the way that it moves, and I don't understand.
It's mad. Like, you can literally see a single strand.
I don't understand. It's just mind
like someone's
blowing.
Like sat there and made that like one strand of hair. Just think of how long that took to like do hair.
Those people have got some patience.
Yeah. And skill.
Yeah. And there was another bit of CGI which we really liked. There was like a slow motion bit of water flowing. And that's clever. Like,
yeah. I think they kind of done it in slow-mo almost to show off the fact how good
they are.
You know, you're just being weird.
I think the main reason that the CGI is so good, it's by a man called Steve Goldberg. He is a visual FX supervisor for Disney. When I was reading up about him, they said he was a veteran, so he's obviously a clever chap.
Yeah.
And he's done loads of other Disney films. He did the first Frozen, he's done Tangled. I think he even did like the first Aladdin back in like the 90s. So he's a very talented guy, and that will explain a lot.
Yeah. He's the sort of guy you'd need for this film.
Yeah, definitely. Right. And he did well.
Yeah, smashed it.
Him and his team smashed it. It's going to be just like the word of this video.
Yeah, smashed it. Amazing. I can't believe it. Couldn't believe how good that was. Okay, moving on to some of like the themes of the film. One main one throughout the whole thing is kind of all of them, but mainly Olaf and he's trying to sort of like get to grips with the whole like growing up, becoming like mature kind of thing.
It's so cute.
There is a song like for it, and it's pretty great. Yeah. No, it's really funny.
Alex even started playing it out of the blue earlier.
Yeah, it is. No, it is brilliant the way they've done it. He's basically like...
He's just trying to understand, like, all of these changes that are happening, and that change is okay, and that he can cope with everything.
And he's basically saying as well, it's like, when things happen, he'll just be like, I'll understand that when I'm older. I'll understand that one day. Or one day I'll know what that is, like, what this means.
Yeah, like rather than getting scared, he'll just be like, one day that'll make sense.
Yeah.
And that's really sweet. Like, kids need to learn that.
Yeah, definitely. So it was quite a nice touch.
Yeah, I really like that. And then something which I picked up on was the Norwegian mythology. So as we mentioned, the fire, air, water and earth is a big theme throughout the film. So there are runes related to those as well, so like the big stones with the different symbols marked on them. That sort of enhances that. And also there's giants in it, tribes, and it all just kind of links in and gives it more of that authentic Norwegian feel, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
It's very clever.
Yeah, and it's all like, all of those things are like based, like they're all together in this forest.
Yeah.
So it's
And then the last sort of theme that was picked up on was, so obviously in the first film, Elsa's hiding her powers, she's running away from it, she doesn't understand it. In this one, she's got her newfound freedom. Everybody knows that she has her powers, nobody's annoyed at her for it, everybody accepts it. And it's really nice that you get to see her embracing that rather than feeling left out.
And I think like everyone of like Arendelle is now like when bad things happen, they'll like almost expect her to use her powers to
Elsa
like
will save
help.
us.
Yeah. She's like more, not like, obviously in the last one she was looked at not as a villain, but like kind of as a bad person at one part because of it. Whereas this, she's like the superhero. Like she's the hero of Arendelle kind of thing.
The lack of isolation of her is just amazing.
Yeah.
She deserves to be involved.
Yeah. It does help that she's now in like full control of her powers.
Yeah. She has learned what to do.
Yeah. So going on to some of the characters, obviously they've included like new characters, as with any new film, you get new people. So obviously all the old ones are in it. And with Olav especially, like in the first one, obviously they don't know which character's going to be whose favourite and all that.
Yeah.
But obviously Olaf came across very funny, like he's like the comedian in the film, if you like. Yep.
Yes, I am.
Weird.
I don't know where that
Very
came
weird.
from.
Strange. But yeah, and they've carried it on in the second one, and they've obviously seen how popular he is, and they've really like used that to their advantage.
100%.
And he is like, well, in my opinion, he is so funny in this new one.
He was hilarious in the first film.
Yeah.
Like, oh my, I've been impaled.
Yeah. There's so many lines like that in this new one, and like
We've already been quoting him.
Yeah.
It's not even been 24 hours since we saw the film, and we're quoting him.
Yeah. Obviously, we're not going to tell you any because I don't want to spoil it. But he is so funny, and like we kind of didn't feel like you could love him anymore. But
definitely.
He's, I think, I don't want to say my favourite, but I think he's just up there with one of my favourites.
Oh,
like in the film.
He is perfect.
Yeah.
He really is. And like, obviously in the first film you have the worries of like if he's in the sun he's gonna melt and all of that. He's got permafrost.
Oh yes. He can't melt.
Is a bad boy now.
Yeah.
But like the way that they show that he's got his permafrost on is really cute. If you look really closely at his body, you can see there's like little snowflakes on it, and the detail is incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was quite fun.
Yeah, definitely.
So just one thing I wanted to mention about Elsa. Obviously she's still in it. Obviously she's still like one of the main characters. They all have new outfits, but there is a point in the film where Elsa's hair is not braided. And she looks gorgeous. Alex is like, she's a cartoon. And I'm like, but it just looks so nice.
Her hair looked like crazy, like we said before. Like
the detail
in each strand of hair.
But that was just nice because it kind of helped with that. This is a new lease of life, a new story, a new Elsa. And it is like, you know, like when somebody wants to like become a different person, they'll get their hair cut, they'll dye their hair. It's like that. It was really nice seeing her embracing herself like that.
Yeah.
Loved
really
it.
Good. So obviously, like we mentioned before, like the whole like runes, whatever it is, like the water, fire, earth,
the different elements.
Yeah. So some of the characters are these like elements, and so one is Bruni. And you might have seen pictures of him before because a lot of people have been talking about him before it came out.
Yeah.
But he's like the little salamander. And he is. What were we gonna say?
I was gonna say his name is not actually said in the film. We didn't think he had a name. We googled it. He does have a name.
Yeah. Unless we missed it. We might have missed his name.
It generally doesn't say it in the film.
Oh really?
Yeah. No, I read it up. Generally doesn't say it.
The salamander is called Bruni. Assuming that's like right. We
Yeah.
did double check it, and it seems to be. But yeah, so he is fire as such. Like, so he's completely harmless. Like, I don't want to give it away, but yeah, he's like very friendly and that, and
Adorable.
then he kind of just follows them about for a bit, and like, I think he's quite funny, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because when he gets all like hot and that, like one of the things, I guess this isn't a spoiler, is it?
No.
But like he jumps on like Olaf's head.
Yeah.
So obviously he's
To
snow,
cool down.
and he's just like led there like and like you hit like obviously like the sizzling sound of him cooling down on Olaf's head.
So he doesn't
That's
like
quite funny.
actually talk or anything, but
No.
he is one of those characters who's just like Pascal in Tangled.
Yeah, it's just his actions that
need
make
to
him
talk.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was the other one that was like the other element that had a character was Knock. So it is another
Not sure.
character
They.
who has been seen in some of the stuff that's been released already for Frozen 2. And basically becomes Elsa's partner, I guess is the way to say that. They work together, end up working together. So obviously Knock is water, a water horse, just beautiful.
Yeah.
I really don't.
There's not really any words for it.
No.
It's just it is a water horse. Like
And they
again,
work
like
well
the whole
together.
like obviously it's made out of water horse. Like it just looks insane. Like how they've done that. Like it looks so real. I think
really
there's
know
much
what
else to say about that.
We can't say too much about the new
Yeah,
characters.
I'm being so
without
careful about
spoiling
like
it.
what
Yeah.
we're saying. Like hence why we're like
And then there's just a few other characters which we don't really want to go into too much detail about because they're not like massively major characters that have been given lots of backstory and we can explain much about. But obviously there's the giants who are earth, and then Gale, which is wind, so air, who has basically been created or like nicknamed by Olaf, and that whole scene is epic.
yeah. So
Absolutely
like I think that kind of relates
perfect.
again to like the whole thing where Olaf's like everything makes sense when he's older.
Yeah,
Because when this wind is doing
its thing.
its thing, yeah, don't want to say too much. He just finds it funny.
Yeah.
Like if he's in danger, he finds it funny because he's just there like
It'll be okay.
It'll be alright.
It's almost
And,
like
like-
when we do like a nervous laugh, like
Yeah.
don't worry about it.
and he's just there completely fine. And then
Yeah.
he nicknamed this wind Gale, which obviously is like
Hilarious
kind of,
in
like,
itself.
joke on its own. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And then there is the tribe which we have mentioned, which are called the tribe of Northuldra.
Yeah.
But we're not going to say any more about them.
No, we don't want to give it away because they are
No.
they're a big part of the story. And then as we come to the end, we just wanted to talk about the sort of like reception and
Yeah.
like how the film has like started out.
How it's been received so far. Obviously, this is
Yeah.
a day after it was released in England that we
Yeah,
are
I
filming
think-
this. So
I looked it up and it said it was Thursday it came out in like America, or like
Yeah.
previewed in America. So on its like the first night, opening night, whatever, the preview night in America, it made $8.5 million.
what?
Like crazy.
What?
$8.5 million from people coming to watch a film.
Yeah,
in
it's
a day.
insane. And it was. We also found out that it has been basically assumed, predicted, pretty much guaranteed that Disney will overall this year have. They will make over $3 billion from their films, and that will be for the
That was just from box
third
office.
time.
Like,
Yeah, just from box
$3 billion
office
from
rates.
box office.
And that is for the third time ever. They
Yeah.
were the first people to ever do it, and now they are doing it for the third time.
Yeah. There's mad numbers. Like $1 billion is mad. $3
don't-
billion.
I don't.
And obviously with the release of like the new Star Wars coming up, they're gonna smash it.
I've actually generally just got goosebumps thinking about how amazing Disney are. This is why
It's
I love
unbelievable
them
numbers.
so much.
And as well as hitting the numbers like that, they've also been nominated for 2 awards already for like this new Frozen film.
Yeah, this is just for the
which
music.
is it's a HMMA award,
Yeah.
which means
Hollywood Music and Media.
There
So
you
I
go.
don't know how like massive those awards are, but considering the film's been out for a day and it's already
Yeah.
been nominated for 2 awards for its music alone and nothing to do with the actual picture, that's mad.
Yeah.
So it's for an original song and for an original score. Those are the 2 different areas they've been nominated for. So fingers crossed they will get those. I no doubt they will.
I
Along with
expect so.
a long list of other awards
Yeah,
that they will
I'm
get
sure
in the years
it's
to come.
just a couple of many to come for like the new film.
Definitely.
And so obviously, coming like as we hit in the end of the video,
Yeah.
I think our final thoughts. So
Yeah, just
what would
round
you
up,
say?
I think, what we both personally think.
Yeah, what do you think of it?
As mentioned, I can never decide. I don't think I will ever be able to decide whether the first one or the second one is better. The first one has had a massive part in my heart since it came out. I have watched it I don't know how many times. I've listened to the songs I don't know how many times. I know every word to everything. But I feel like Frozen 2 is going to become just as well loved as that. And I love them both for different reasons. They are both absolute masterpiece. I'm so in love with this film, I can't even talk properly.
Not that
like-
you can anyway.
I am actually lost for words. Anna is even more loved by me. I feel like everyone has that sort of character that they relate to the most, that kind of reminds them of them. And for me, it's definitely Anna.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if I had to describe it in one word, it would be masterpiece.
I'd say that it's better than the first film. Obviously, Rhi can't decide, but I don't know. I think it's because they've included Olaf and like they've done a lot more jokes using him,
Yeah.
and he is my favourite character in there anyway.
Overall,
I think-
it was a lot funnier.
And just generally like because it's something so fresh to watch. So I think I need to see it like again or like a few more times before I can like
Yeah.
really like make my decision. But I'm pretty sure I think it's better than the first one.
We are also possibly going to go and see it again in the cinema. I found out today that there actually was something at the end of the credits. We waited for like most of the credits and didn't see anything. We were like, oh, there's definitely nothing
Yeah,
this late
and most
after.
people had gone. Like,
And then I saw something online that there actually was something right at the end. So I'm going to go back to watch it just for that.
yeah. But yeah, so I think that is going to be the end of today's video.
Yeah.
If you have liked it, hit a thumbs up and smash the subscribe down below. Okay, I'm wearing this again. And we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.